It's that time of year again, everyone back to school for the kiddos, and of course the August stats are in the books, so let's share with you. Very interesting, yesterday we had another rate announcement and the Bank of Canada has given us another quarter-point reduction in the overnight rate. So these numbers reflect two reductions in the overnight rate, and the data is a little bit surprising relative to what one might expect. Things have gotten cheaper, yet here we are. So let's take a look. This is our 6-month chart, and of course we've had about an 11.5% reduction in sales in August over July. Now that's about seasonally appropriate, actually. We see kind of a soft landing as we go into the fall in Ottawa. So to see that level of change is almost exactly on point with the last 10 years. So that's not noteworthy, really. Active listings are slightly lower than they were in July. Probably, obviously, if you were timing the market as a seller, you might have picked a different time. So a small reduction in active listings, a smaller reduction in sales. What does that mean? The months of standing inventory has gone to 3. It's a 7% increase month over month in terms of the amount of inventory we have. So inventory is softening, sales are softening, but inventory is not softening as quickly. So 3 months of staying inventory, we're moving towards a balanced market. Still, on the books, that's considered a seller's market, but a fairly soft seller's market. Moving on, what happens to prices as inventory goes up? Well, in this case, we've had a 3% reduction in price. And that's the one that's kind of interesting, right? Because we're seeing prices kind of moderate and in fact go down a little bit while money becomes cheaper. Interesting. Not exactly the linear, economics 101 we've all been led to believe. Anyways, moving on, let's see kind of a deeper dive into some of these things. So this is August over August, and the great news is we've actually had about a 10% increase in sales over last August. So we know last August was quite lackluster. This is, looking better. So that's pointed in the right direction. Amazing. Now we also know the sellers were on the sidelines last year, so we've had a 25% increase in the number of sellers in the market, showing some confidence in the market, and a 10% increase in sales. So what does that mean? We've got more inventory this year than we did last. That's great for buyers. There's choice. It's more of a balanced market, but interesting to take note of. And finally, what's happening with prices? Well, we kind of already showed you this, and I've commented in the last couple of months. We're seeing a lot of activity on the perfectly, rendered home. We're also seeing a lot of activity in the center of the bell curve. So I would say that in Ottawa, that's represented by a townhome. So you'll see that the months of standing inventory on townhomes is a little bit lower than what we're seeing on singles or on apartments. So there's, a fairly robust amount of activity in the center of the bell curve, which in Ottawa is represented by kind of that purchase price of a townhome, with the smallest reduction in overall price. So there it is. We'll see what the fall brings. We just again had an announcement on an additional quarter-point reduction in the overnight rate. That impacts the variable rate mortgages directly, not the fixed rate mortgages directly, but they do tend to move somewhat in tandem. So we'll see what happens. The feedback has been those reduced interest rates should make things more affordable and create a more robust market. But we have not seen that come to bear in the last 2 rate increases. And my only suggestion is perhaps a quarter point is just not, robust enough to really change consumer behavior. Let's see what September brings, and we're excited to, start the fall on a positive note.